Mr. Morris, you say you are 100% certain that you are the biological father of the 29-year-old woman standing across the aisle and want this court to put an end to years of confusion, lies, and doubt. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Brister, you say you don't believe Mr. Morris is your father and that you've been lied to by your mother, Miss Smith, regarding who is your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Smith, you are here to support Mr. Morris's claim that he is your daughter's biological father, and you pray today's results will heal old wounds. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mr. Morris, I want to start with you. What makes you so certain that Mrs. Brister is indeed your biological daughter?
Well, ma'am, I just feel 100% in my heart that she is my child.
Take me back. I want to understand the nature, how this relationship began. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend? What was Mr. Morris? Explain to the court.
I met Mrs. Smith in 19.
All right, man, your predictions. Do you think he the father, or do you think he not?
I need to see what the girl looked like again. I think so.
All right, let's see what the kid look like first, and then we're gonna make our predictions. All right, so let's do it.
1984. At the time, I was involved with a breakdancing crew. When I met Mrs. Smith, this one evening as we were performing, I knew right then I wanted to be with her. One thing led to another, and I pulled her, and me and Mrs. Smith, we did get together.
Okay, did you dance on over there? What'd you do?
Well, actually, it didn't happen until the following evening because I had to get my cousin out of the way because by me being shy.
3 was company then?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Understood.
Ma'am.
All right, so you all started a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did the relationship last?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yes.
Was it a committed relationship?
Well, ma'am, I thought it was in the beginning. Yes, it was. It was. It's just that I had to go through a lot of turmoil in order to be with her because she was a queen.
Because she
was a queen.
Okay.
And there was a lot of different guys at her. And so, I mean, it was fight after fight with different people in the town that I didn't know nothing about. And
so was she with a lot of other people or just she had a lot of suitors?
A lot of suitors, I would say.
Okay, so your predictions, you think he not the father or is the father?
I think he is the father.
Just you think the girl looked like him?
Yeah.
My predictions, he's not the father. So we finna see who right.
Because at the time I was with her, it was just me and her.
So, Ms. Smith, what do you recall about this relationship?
We had a good relationship. Different guys wanted to be with me, but I wanted to be with him.
And so what is the status of your relationship right now?
Well, we're back together.
You are?
Yes.
Yes.
We're a couple.
After how many years?
14 years to be precise.
14 years?
Yes.
And now you're back together?
Yes.
But there's still this paternity issue hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Why? You say you were only with her. She said she was only with you.
I came back to town after hearing it from 3 different individuals that she was pregnant with my child at the time. And we stayed in 2 different towns. So when I found out, when I heard it more than twice, I would say, I left where I was to go to her town to talk to Ms. Smith, try to get this resolved because...
Was she pregnant at...
I ain't gonna lie, buddy, his grill is out of control. Like his grill is crazy. Let's go back to it.
Paying attention, to be honest.
Yeah, his grill, his teeth, man.
Okay.
At this time, or had the baby been born?
No, Legina was already born. But at the time when I talked to her, the 2 days I was in town to see Mrs. Smith, we had an issue, and she told me to my face that none of her children were mine. So I left.
I've always known the man on my birth certificate to be my father. When I was about 16, Mr. Morris, he came to visit, and he introduced himself as my dad. I don't remember the entire conversation that we had, but I do remember him saying that he was my dad.
K-12 makes going back to school easy. We deliver an education that takes your child beyond.
He came, he was there for maybe like a week or so, then he left.
So he comes into town, he says, I'm your father. He stays a week, and then he leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Well,
yes, Your Honor. My mother, she didn't really speak of him after that, and it went back.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I was in town for almost 6 months.
But were you a father to her?
Yes, I was active in her life at that time, but she didn't live with us.
In the last point on your board, your exhibit.
Yes, like I was saying, it went back to normal for me that the man who's on my birth certificate was my father. And a couple of months ago, my mom, she told me that Mr. Woods, a guy who's deceased, that he could possibly be my father.
So let me understand this. The bottom line is, as a young woman, you've been told different stories.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
so you have one man on your birth certificate.
Yes, Your
Next
Honor.
thing you know, it changes to Mr. Morris comes to visit, and he introduces himself to you as I'm your dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now you're saying, okay, what's going on here? Then 1 week later, Mr. Morris leaves. This is in your mind.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then your mom says, you know, the other man is your father.
Yes, Your Honor. That's how I remember.
And then in 2015, your mother tells you that a deceased man, Mr. Woods, could be your father.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
You know, talk about the various stories your mother told you. Is there anything you'd like to say to your mother about how these stories have affected you and how this lack of clarity has affected you?
It's just confusing. I mean, I want to know, you know, for me and for my children, just for things that, you know, he couldn't be a part of in my life, you know.
And I apologize for leading you on like I did. I really do apologize. And I am sorry. I'm very sorry.
All right, YouTube, man. Let's stop it right there. I ain't gonna lie. Do you think she genuinely sorry? Or do you think this just her? She just putting on a front and she know she didn't messed up. Like, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so as this lady, she's a grown woman now, so I feel like this is something that already should have been handled.
For
and
one,
dealt
it's
with.
messed up because
Like she's
why it
gone
took
on
to
her
her
whole
to be
life
grown.
trying to figure out who's her father. I feel like that's what messes people up. Why don't you get this figured out as a child? Why do you wait until the woman is grown now? And then it's like it could be multiple different fathers. Like I feel like that whole situation, that's messy. I ain't never.
And then they say they've been, I guess, not together for 14 years,
and now they're in a relationship.
They back in a relationship, so
and they going through this paternity thing.
As their daughter is grown now, like super grown.
So I feel like, it could mess up. I could feel like it could mess somebody up, not knowing who their father is, you know, their whole life, or being told lies, or not knowing the truth. First of all, she said one of the fathers could possibly, one of the is dead. Mm-hmm. One of the, you know, possibilities of the father is no longer living. Like, and then, you know, I mean, it's just, I feel like it's a mental thing. Like this, you don't know how somebody is taking this and stuff like daily, on the daily.
Facts. And I feel like the mom was just a HOE.
I feel like in these situations, yes, the mother be in denial. Like, that's why it finally takes so long, because it's like usually it's the child that really wants to know. The mother isn't really tripping, you know. It's the child that presses the issue eventually. Like, I want to know who my dad is. I want to know.
And the mom basically coming up with this BS apology when the whole time from birth all the way to now, to however old the young lady is, you are just now. It's not, if she wanted to, press the issue on, I want to really know who my father is, the mother would have just been cool with not letting her know that that's not her real
I don't
father.
think. I
You
feel
know what I'm
like
saying?
I feel like that's nobody should ever go through that.
Oh, facts though. That's messed up.
Did I hurt you? Because I wasn't trying to. I was not trying to. I was trying to protect you. I apologize.
But if you had taken a DNA test and you knew that there had been a test, did you ever get the answer, or did you just not want to know the answer?
I never got the answer until he told me the answer. I haven't seen it because his family won't present the paper.
But you've never seen the paperwork. You've never seen the results in person.
No.
It has.
But enough about us. Without further ado, let's get started. Why should you publish a book? And I think that this Toni Morrison quote is it up best. If there's a book you want,
has been determined by this court. Mr. Morris.
Yes, Sean.
You are not her father.
What I say, family, what I say, man. He ain't the father, man.
Wow.
I'm very sorry.
And that's crazy.
Can I hug my daughter?
Crazy work.
Absolutely. Is that okay?
Your mammy was a HOE. And she knew that. That's why she didn't want to tell her.
You can stand with your daughter, ma'am.
Some crazy work.
What?
Miss Brister,
Whenever
are you okay?
I
when
am.
we watched that one
I'm glad.
yesterday, where this guy was paying child support for 20 years on a kid that was not his.
Yeah, that eventually
What?
came out to be it wasn't his, and he paid.
Eventually, they took
He
the
overpaid.
DNA test.
He overpaid
So he
child
done
support.
paid the child support up already
So he
for
paid
20 years. He
3
already
years
got a
more.
back pay
Yeah,
for paying too much.
he paid
Then
3 years
they
more.
take the DNA test, and he is not the father. I could not imagine. That is something that is a
So
really
he was
hard
supposed to pay
thing
child
to take
support
in mentally.
up till she was 18, but end up overpaying 3 years extra until she was 20. And now they sending him checks like $1,500 checks for all the child support that he didn't overpay. To find out that she's not his daughter.
I feel like certain situations don't be necessarily that, like, I'm always like, it's not worth it, don't take it there. But like in this situation,
No, so every situation is worth it because
in this
everybody needs to
situation,
know who the hell their child
somebody's
are.
life could be getting played with
Like,
behind this. Like,
people can
thinking that you're the father and you raising a child and doing
that is
everything,
emotionally
and it's not
damaged
your
to a grown
child,
man, especially
and
a
the
man,
kid.
especially a man that was actually there and actually wanted to be a part of the child's life and actually raise them, to come to find out 20, 30 years later that this is not his child, and all his time and money, financially, physically, mentally,
Wow.
emotional, everything he didn't put into this, all his time, the whole time, this is not your child, and the mother knew this whole time and lied to you, lied to the child. It's just ridiculous, man. Like,
Yeah, it's one thing I can say. I'm glad I ain't never been in that situation to where I've had to like double think about, or go through this type of thing. Like, I know for a fact who my baby daddies is. I got one.
To know, it's one step closer.
Yes.
So
I'm very proud of you in this moment. It wasn't the answer and the closure you wanted, but at least we know now. Ms. Smith, I have to ask you, do you know who your daughter's biological father is, if it is not Mr. Morris?
I believe it's the deceased.
Mr. White, you've brought your ex-wife to court today because you believe she mysteriously had your parental rights revoked for a girl you believe was your biological daughter, thus allowing another man to adopt her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test and say once the results prove that you are indeed Miss Tasha Mock's biological father, you would like her mother to pay you $5,000 for fraud resulting in emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, you claim the only reason your daughter was adopted by another man is because you don't believe Mr. White is actually her biological father. In fact, you're adamant that you don't owe him a single dollar, and it's your hope that when today's test results are revealed, Mr. White will leave you and your daughter alone for good.
Yes.
So, Mr. White, obviously you feel you've been lied to. Please explain to the court why.
Your Honor, in the early 1980s, Julia and I were married, and she birthed me a son 10 months afterwards. A year later, she was pregnant with Tasha, and I ended up going to jail. She was 2 months pregnant when I went to jail. 7 months after I went to jail, she gave birth to Tasha. At that time, she must have believed I was the father because she put my name on the birth certificate. I was not able to do anything about it because I was incarcerated. 30 days after Tasha was born, she brought her to the jail, let me hold her. The day afterwards, I was shipped upstate for 10 years. Now, a couple years after that, Julia had filed and petitioned the court for divorce in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's allowed because I was incarcerated for a period exceeding 2 years. About a year after that, she petitioned the court to involuntarily terminate my parental rights to both my son and to Tasha. I acted as my own attorney because I had nothing but time, so I went to the law library and I taught myself law, and acting as my own attorney, I fought it in court and I won. And at that
That's
time,
right, big fella. That's right. That's right.
It was the opinion.
Sorry to ruin your groove. Isn't that the worst? What if I told you that there was a way for you to skip ads like this forever? This is Pi.
It was the opinion of the judge at that time that Julia, or Miss Mock, had intentionally moved with the children on at least 3 different occasions. So all the letters and the cards that I had sent over the course of time to their grandparents' place never got to them.
And as a part of the judgment,
she was ordered to bring the children down to the prison to visit me. She was also ordered to collect calls from me as long as I used my prison wages and was able to cover at least half of the cost.
that was good lawyering.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Ma, what is the motive behind all of this?
I was trying to protect them.
So you were trying to protect your children because you didn't want them to have to go back and forth to jail to visit their father, or were you trying to protect Tasha because you didn't believe Mr. White was her father?
That was partial.
How did you manage to get another man to adopt your daughter when he never relinquished his legal right?
The judge just signed the papers.
Tasha, I have to ask you, at what point did you just decide, I want to know the truth?
Well, when I was 26, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I put a lot of thought into it. I was blind and I couldn't walk, so I had nothing but time to sit and think about it. And then when I had turned 28, I got my vision back, and 29, I reached out to Mr. White on Facebook.
You did?
I did.
August 23rd. She had sent me a text out on Facebook that night. I have a copy of it here.
I'd like to see it, please.
She told me that she had been born to Tasha Renee White. She wanted to know if I was her father. She was trying to find the things out. We got on the phone. Within an hour or two, I was on the road to her house.
How did it feel when you first saw her?
I don't know the words to express it because there was such a warmth and a flood to come over me when I got to wrap my arms around her. It was like nothing in the world mattered at that point. You know, it's 30-year battle is over. I finally won. That's how I felt.
Do you know where or how you can find the other possible father, the other gentleman?
I swear to God, Almighty God up above, I don't know where he is and I don't want to know.
So you're not hoping this other man is the father either?
No.
You're just hoping that when
when
leave
we
this
prove
courtroom
that
today
he is
that
not the father,
you
that
don't
it's
want
all
her to
done.
know who her father is.
She has a father. He adopted her.
Do you understand the need, the desire,
Yes.
the longing in her to know who her biological father is?
Yes.
And as her mother, is there a part of you that wants to provide, to fulfill that need?
Yes.
That's a natural mother's instinct.
Yes, I do. I only want my daughter to be happy because of her illness. I don't know how long she's going to be on this earth. I want her to know that everything that she wants, I will do in my power to make sure she has.
So if in
And
fact
that's
Mr.
why I'm
White is
here.
not the biological father, you would help her find the other gentleman?
No.
I will.
No.
I made a promise to her the day that she reached out to me. I'll do everything I can to help her.
Ms. Mock, do you hear what you're saying?
Yes.
In the case of White versus Mock, pertaining to 30-year-old Ms. Tasha Mock, it has been determined by this court, Mr. White, you are not the father.
I'll still help you.
Are you okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. White, are you all right?
Yes, Your Honor, I will be.
I know it's not the news you wanted. You say that you will help her find her biological father if she asks for that help. And I hope you live up to that, Mr. White.
I most certainly will, Your Honor. I told this young lady when she first stepped into my life, I'd help her find the truth. So whether
That's
she's
a
my
pretty
biological
stand-up
father,
guy,
she's
man.
not
Pretty
my sister.
stand-up guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free.
Ms. Mock, what I encourage you today, though, is to think about the pain that you felt feeling abandoned by the men you've loved. Do not pass those feelings down to your daughter. Ms. Alston, you've come to court to prove to the defendant, Mr. Holmes, whom you first met at the age of 15, that you are his biological daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Holmes, you say there's no way she's your child, and today the DNA will prove your case. You say her biological father is David Alston, the man who is on her birth certificate and paid child support for her. So, Ms. Alston, tell us how you first found out the defendant might be your father.
Well, Mr. Austin and my mom were married. So as a child, it all started there. I grew up in a home with my mom with my 7 siblings. So one summer I was going outside to play, and my mom was outside talking to a guy. And when I walked up, he was like, tell her. And she looked at me and said, "This is your uncle. This is your dad's brother." So I proceeded to meet the family, which is my younger brother, my grandmother, aunts and uncles, and they embraced me like if they knew me from day one. So I have always assumed that Mr. Austin was my dad because his name was on my birth certificate. But at 15, she told me that Mr. Holmes can be my dad. He's always been a father figure to me since from day one, even with the doubt.
Mr. Holmes, you don't believe she's your biological child?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Why? Explain to the court.
Because Miss Austin's mother, back in the day, she was like fast.
Mm-hmm.
And because I met her at the school bus stop, she was in high school. And 2 days later, after I met her, I had sex with her. I called her again a couple of days later, asked her to come back, and we had sex again. So it was kind of like a booty call. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about her until 15 years later. So I kind of felt that she wasn't mine because I didn't even know that she existed until that time.
Did you know she was married?
No.
And how were you made aware?
By my mother.
Did you immediately think this may not be my child, or were you just accepting of the news because she says your family was accepting of her?
I accepted her because I know how it feels to not have a father. But I didn't really put my all into it because like the way I met her mother and the lifestyle that I was already living.
All right. And so, Ms. Alston.
Yes.
When you finally did meet Mr. Holmes, what was that like?
It was wonderful. It's actually a good feeling for the kid in me because I've always wanted a dad. So it's actually great. I have abandonment issues from Mr. Austin, so it actually felt welcoming. It felt like I had a father who wants to love me for me. So it felt wonderful.
Ms. Austin, I have to ask you, do you have any inkling as to why your mother said one man was your father, then another man?
No, Your
Did
Honor,
she ever
no.
give you a reason?
She never did. She's never.
Did you ever ask her?
No, I never asked.
So you just
when she told me and I met Miss Jenny, when they took me in as a family, I just ran with it because she said he was my dad.
Did you run with it because you had such a difficult relationship with Mr. Austin?
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
you just needed somewhere to run?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever had a doubt in your own mind since your mom told you that Mr. Holmes was your father?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You have?
Yes.
Even you've doubted it?
Yes.
I think it's time we meet Mr. Austin. Jerome, would you please escort him in? This is the man on your birth certificate.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
And you tried to have a relationship with him.
Yes, I just wanted to be loved.
Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to have you explain to the court. She says she was told for the first 15 years of her life that you were her biological father, and then all of a sudden she was given another name. What do you know about this?
15 years ago.
All right, Chad. So me personally, I actually do. Okay, so this the guy that they said supposedly be her uncle, and the other dude is supposed to be her father, but he say he don't think he's the father. In my opinion, I believe he is the father, not him, the one that's on the stand, because that's the one that I guess been playing father, but they finally said he the uncle. So I'm assuming they brothers. I'm not sure, but if they are, I think the other guy is the actual father who says he don't believe that's his child. What you think?
I don't know. I'm still kind of confused because this guy right here, Austin or whatever, is the one that's on her birth certificate. So
Yep.
why would her uncle be on her birth certificate? I feel like that's weird. So I'm hoping that this is not Austin, is not the father, and that it's the other one. Because otherwise, they give this weird. How are you the uncle and the daddy? You know what I'm saying? But anyways,
Facts.
let's see what it is.
Let's get the results, baby.
No, I just found out now.
So you're saying that up until recently, you still considered her your daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter. There's no way in the world I would not think that.
Excuse me, Your
That's
Honor.
my
He
daughter.
calls me his daughter sitting here, but he's never been a dad to me. He's never been a dad. I don't recall
But
no
she
phone
says
calls.
she tried to have a relationship with you and you rejected her.
No,
Yes.
when I moved, no, what happened is when I moved away, when I got remarried, it seemed like all that other, that's when the anger started coming through. But when I get these phone calls, it's all about money. Money.
You living your life and you have
He sound like
proof
he's
that
in
she's
a
been
lot of
told somebody
denial.
else is her biological
No
father. And that she's gone through
He's in a
all
lot
this
of
and
denial,
established
and
ties with
he
another
blinking
family.
too
You
much.
have no
His
clue.
eyes, he blinking
But
a
calling
lot.
me
He
a
lying.
year ago, 2 years ago, asking me, Daddy, can I have this? Daddy, can I have that? Daddy, can you pay my bill?
Did you let me move in? Did you help me find a roof?
There's no way.
At that time, I was a parent myself, so I was not. I did not.
For 15 years, you thought that was man's your father. Why you asked me in 2010 and you say that was your father?
Well, that's a good question.
16 years ago.
And at that time, like I said, I was still trying to build a relationship with him because I'm very doubtful that Mr. Holmes is my father.
Doubtful now. You said a few minutes ago that he's your father.
And so if you did not believe Mr. Austin was your biological father, you were
I really
told
feel
he
like
wasn't,
everybody
and
there is
you
very
said you don't
confused
care for him.
and don't know
You don't
what
care
the
for him
hell they're
because you
talking
feel like
about.
he rejected you when you
He
needed
abandoned
help.
me. Yes.
Wow, this is confusing. As it pertains to 31-year-old Donna Alston, and whether Mr. Holmes or Mr. Alston is her biological father, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Holmes, you are not Miss Alston's father. Mr. Alston, you are not.
Oh shit!
Why she do that?
Lord have mercy.
Oh
I'm still
shit!
looking at this.
Big bomb
Oh my
dropper.
God.
The mama is a AOP skinny.
Can we sit her down, man?
Oh my God.
Sit down.
OC.
Miss. Oh,
This, oh my God.
Wow,
I'm
man.
so sorry,
Wow,
Miss
wow,
Alston.
wow, man.
Look at her. It's so
But you
much.
still, you still
Oh
got
my
ass on
goodness.
That's the mother fault.
Oh God.
Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Yeah.
Okay, man. So that's gonna wrap that up, man. Quick little reaction. I ain't gonna lie.
You know who it is?
When
Redhead Liz.
when we watching these type of videos, which we'll be reacting more to the paternity test, because that's what we like to watch. So I'm gonna do more me and my girl, Redhead Liz. Y'all be seeing her more on the reactions with the paternity test.
It is my son.
Yeah,
Say
that's
hi.
my baby boy.
Say hi.
Mm.
Hi.
Yeah, so
Hi.
we will be doing more reactions with me, Redhead Liz. You might see the babies pop in and out every now and then. But yeah, let's wrap this reaction up, man. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's crazy work. Neither one of them the father.
Yeah, none of them. So far, all the ones that we've watched have
At least been one. Like, but both was not the father, 99%, 99.9% not the father. Is crazy work. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's it for the night, YouTube. Me and Redhead Liz, we back with another reaction. First reaction together. I ain't gonna lie. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate all the support. Love our supporters. Go subscribe to our channel at Redhead Liz on YouTube. Yeah, man. And drop them comments in one of her videos and say I came from Maniac Seals channel and subscribe. And we'll have a special prize for y'all.
Let's run Maniacs subs up. We trying to get to that 1,000 more, baby.
Run them subs up.
Run them subs up.
Say subscribe.
Subscribe.
Say subscribe. Yeah, baby. But we out, man. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Peace.